how you doing? It's Mitch from Hard Intentions YouTube channel. We got one of my homeboys back on TV again with us. Let's give a big shout out to Whack. Everybody knows Whack who's watched this channel at all. How you doing, Whack?
I'm good, brother. How are you, man?
I'm all right. I just been kicking it. I'm getting ready to go apply for a job that you kind of put me up on and try to get a little money in the bank, and get ready, brace up for the coming recession.
Oh yeah, it's coming, man. Yeah, that's a good thing, bro. I know that you've been ever since you got kind of fucked out of your old job, pardon my French. We all
Yeah.
know the story about that and them people. It's been kind of like it's like you've been on the tier hustling kind of, so
Yeah, I've been hustling,
so you gotta, you know, some stability is gonna help you out a whole lot. And
Yeah.
hey, nothing wrong with doing your 8-inch skating, go put in
Yeah,
8 hours.
like in prison, man, that's what helped me get through. Was once I grew up, was having a job assignment to go to every day. Boom, you get up, go eat chow, go to work, come home, it's a routine, and
Yeah. One thing I noticed, man, since I started working there in January is that I feel good about myself as far as, I'm doing something for me and mine. I'm not just
yeah,
wallowing in my misery, bro. You know what I mean?
you're looking out for the kids, you got a spot, and yeah, you feel
So,
good, you're earning your cash,
yeah, most definitely.
yeah. And I can always get my hustle on the side too for that extra money.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, so everybody, somebody's always gonna want tattoo work, and then you got your other little painting gigs
And
and
get
other
t-shirts.
plans.
Yeah, get my
So,
side hustle money for bike parts and shit,
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's only up from here, bro. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the two and a half, however, the 2.5 years that we've been talking. I mean, your channel is, taking off, and you've met a lot of good people and all that. And,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we've always said that it's not going to be one of them overnight sensation things. It's going to be
Yeah. Well, we don't do
work,
sensationalism on here,
Right? Yeah, your channel's about facts, not fiction. So
Yeah, and it's we're not like West Squatson out there, the sensationalized bullshit, lying, bullshit stories and all that. So,
yeah,
try to keep it real and really get in touch with a lot of our followers that follow the channel, what we're doing. So I read this article. Let me see. I don't know if can't see it, won't pick it up, but it says this guy, Donald Popeye Mazza, founder of
Popeye.
founder of a gang in Orange County. He pled guilty to a RICO charge. Supposedly he's in a prison gang. But then he disappeared. Like I think a couple of years ago he disappeared. So when I was in the pen, I remember asking one of these dudes, "Hey, what about this?" Because I was going to go over to that program in CMC East, the long-term offender program.
Right.
I told one of these youngsters, he was, younger than me, he's in his late 30s, early 40s. I go, "Hey, what's up with that program?" He goes, "Let me call my homeboy Popeye and find out." And I go, I was like, this is like 2015. I go, "Who the fuck's Popeye?" I
Right.
didn't know. I didn't know who the fuck he was. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I said, he's he's the big homie, and he's, he'll let me know. I got a direct, and it's kind of like trying to get some status with me that he had a direct line to some guy that, whatever, some gang member that set policy for him and his crew. They didn't,
Yeah.
I kind of, I know the fucking rules, so I don't, I don't follow other people's direction. I kind of follow my own. Anyway, that's the first time I ever heard of him, and I was like, well, who the fuck is he, And so evidently, and this is, this the Mercury News, it's all in the newspaper and shit. It's probably in Sacramento Bee and all that shit.
It was in the San Diego Union Tribune too.
Yeah,
So
Donald Popeye Mazza.
yeah,
So this guy ran around terrorizing motherfuckers, right?
yeah. I first heard his name. Side note: I first heard his name probably the early 2000s, because if you remember, uh, excuse me, if you remember, when they took the ride off the yard, when the ride got validated about what 98, 99,
Yeah, yeah.
the the big homies in the back per se, they needed another organization to do their footwork on the main line and out on the streets.
Yeah.
And so they hooked up with the Popeye's crew, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say their name. People know who they are.
I wonder if he was the guy that led the charge, or if they sought him out,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that
yeah,
firsthand. I just remember hearing his name that he was the starter or the leader of that said street
yeah, yeah,
organization that the big homies in the back kind of latched on.
yeah. Him and guy named Stringfellow, right?
Yeah, heard his name too. Yeah,
I knew him. I met him when I was in the pen. I thought he was kind of a cartoon. They killed him in New Folsom, I think in 2018. He got stabbed to death. So, I want to like the lure, or the attraction of, I want to climb the ladder of, the, I want to be the biggest bully on the block kind of thing. Have people ho Papa. If that was the lure, or money, or whatever, I don't know what it was, but he was only 51 years old now. So 20 years ago, he'd have been 30, around there.
yeah, yeah,
In the early 2000s, he would have been late 20s, early 30s.
yeah.
Young, dumb, and full of, whatever.
Had
Uh,
a whole army of young idiots behind him. No disrespect saying they're idiots, but we were all idiots when we were
oh, yeah, a
young.
bunch of young guys probably that thought he was a shit because,
Right,
based on rumor,
right.
willing to step up, and follow in his footsteps. But here's the thing about reputations, as you very well know, because somebody else is connected to this guy that you were in prison with.
Yep.
A lot of reputations are built on bogus information.
Well, yeah, because it goes back to one of the first one of the first experiments you experiment in kindergarten is they put everybody in a circle, right? They
Yeah,
whisper one thing and the first kid's here, and by the time it gets back to the other end, the thing's been blown out of proportion. It's something
yeah,
totally, and so reputations are kind of like, one guy saw it and he beat up one dude, and then but by the time it makes its rounds, the dude knocked out 30 people, killed 40
yeah,
people,
yeah.
you
Stabbed
know.
20, 30 guys.
Yeah. So I mean,
Dispatched 7 Northerners.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
Um, like I know a guy I met a guy, he was in Tehachapi. I met him in Corcoran. He's like, yeah, I stabbed so and so. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, whatever. He. Some dropout.
yeah.
He's like, that was his claim to fame. And I'm like, all right, so did you kill him? He says, nah. And I had already heard from some guys that were there. He just scratched him. He ran up and scratched him. Like, he didn't poke holes in him. He just scratched him. Superficial wounds.
Right.
So I already knew. And so he goes, nah. So all you did was fuck it up for the next guy that really wants to kill him.
Yeah.
But he
Made it
wrote
harder.
on that. I stabbed this dude. I stabbed this dude. I stabbed it. I thought he was a fucking joke. And now he's a big shot, fucking,
I
gang.
guess that happens to be yeah, that happens to be the same dude that tried to get some stripes off of Snow Rock, and
Yeah.
that was a failed mission. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So now I go, well, how'd that guy become like some big icon or whatever? They go, oh, he killed his cellie in prison. I'm like, well, if he killed his cellie in prison,
Why doesn't he have life?
he'd have a life sentence. He would have never got out. And then the story changed. I heard he just beat his cellie down real bad, for some reason.
Oh.
But anyways, so this guy Mazza, this guy Popeye, supposedly he became a prison gang member, you know. He had a crew of guys out in the world to do his
Whether it's your brother, your cousin, your right-hand man from the streets, whatever. That's how all them dudes' careers end by that way. You end up getting either whacked by your best friend, whacked by your celly,
yeah.
or, you know what I mean? So I mean, come on now.
I've heard of guys whacking their own family members,
Yeah.
you know.
So and that's the whole thing with the prison gangs that I'm not knocking them. Hey, do you, homie? That, you know, if it works for you, hey, whatever floats your boat. But
Yeah.
that was my thing about them. About them is that, nah, bro, I'm not on nobody else's time. I'm on my own time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You know, on some hand, you know, like for a long time there was no structure in prison for the white dudes, and I mean there was no, I mean it was like free for all, you know. You had guys
Right.
stepping up saying, "I'm a shot caller of the yard," and youngsters would be like, "All right," they let the guy run the yard, and then they start complaining about him because he's a fucking dope fiend. He's in debt. He's putting other guys in debt. And the next thing you know, we got a riot with some other race because they're not paying their bills. So
Right.
to have a crew of guys on the yard, even if it's only one or two guys with a reputation that can put down some kind of structure that guys have, and if you don't follow the said plan, you know, structure that, you know, you're going to be whacked. That's in some ways that's good, you
Right.
know. It makes it life a lot safer for guys who just want to fucking kick back and do their time. Like guys that aren't dope fiends, they got a job, they're looking to get out, whatever. You know, if you're not in the mix, if you're white and you're not in the mix with the dope and all that other shit, it's all good. You know, give
Yeah,
a
you can do.
motherfucker a fist bump and keep stepping, you know?
Right. And you know, um, and you've talked about it on your channel enough for people to know that, you know, them rules and regulations, the prison politics are in place to protect the white dudes per se that just want to do their time and go home. You know, they're not part of
It keeps them out of danger.
not part
Right.
of, like you said, they're not part of any organization, they're
Yeah.
not part of any gangs. You know, they're just a white dude from El Cajon that got caught up on a GTA that wants to fucking go home and, you know, do his
Yeah.
time and go home, bro. And
Yeah.
if something happens to happen with the whites, you know, then he's down for his race and he'll handle his business, but he's not on the yard trying to politic and become part of the bullshit that goes on with that shit.
Yeah. And he's not shooting dope and he's not involved with illegal activity and all that shit.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so guys like that are pretty well, when you got a dude like you know, prison gang member on the yard, and he's got little, you know, he lays out how things are. If you're not involved with drugs and illegal activity, then only policy that really affects you is, you know, follow the fucking rules, and when the shit's on, just be around, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if you get in the mix and you break the rules, you know, you could wind up dead. And here's the deal: like those rules that they lay down for the illegal activity, they're there for a reason too. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
it protects everybody, you know. So
And so this dude Popeye, you know, he just, you know, he runs for years off of, like you said, a reputation, right? You know, he's, you know, that was his push, was his reputation. Now I don't know the dude, I've never met him, you
yeah,
know, you know, but I mean, I've heard things about him, you know, he's down for his shit and this, that, and the other. And then, you know, you turn around and you read a newspaper article and it's like, wow, damn, this dude now he's a fucking full blown fucking Sammy the Bull. You know what I mean?
he's straight up informant.
Great
I've had
informant,
guys
bro.
from Orange County that knew him and said he wasn't all that.
Oh,
But
okay.
you know, that he really wasn't all that tough, and he, you know, he'd been beaten up and whatnot, and you know, so there were guys that had no respect for him. They didn't like him. So, you know,
But you also know too, right? That makes sense what you're saying, because we've seen it time and time again where, this dude is a bitch, but because of who he's aligned with,
right.
that nobody's going to be able to touch that dude because of who he's aligned with.
Yeah,
And so,
and on that point, I heard that he ran into some guys that were motorcycle riders, and he's like, I'm so and so, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck you," and they beat him up, down, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, if any of you guys go to prison, you're gonna be killed, and blah blah blah. And he extorted them, and because of that reputation,
no,
right? So I mean, so he liked that shit, obviously, until it came time to step up to the plate, right?
yeah. I mean, uh, you can only hide out for so long.
Right.
Somebody's eventually gonna pull your coattail, and then a dude. I mean, look at that. I mean, just think of that scenario that you just spoke about. Was like,
And you don't have one. Same thing, you know. It's like, all right, cool.
I'm gonna go get my big brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my big brother. I remember that shit when I was a kid. Like I was a big kid,
Right.
I'd beat guys down my age and older, and then I'm gonna go get my big brother. I beat this dude up one time when I was 15, man, and he was trying to bully my homeboys at a pool hall, and he was like 30 years old. And I knocked him down, got him on the ground, smashed his head in the concrete a few times, and fucked him up, punched him in the face a few times. And when I got up, he got up, he goes, "When I get my head right, I'm gonna come back with my brothers, deal with you." I said, "You could tell your brothers you just got beat up by a 15-year-old kid."
Yeah, fucking kid, punk.
Yeah. Quit coming
Yeah,
around bullying people,
Yeah, bro, that whole situation, man, is what do you call it? It's it's like the standard now of what's going on in the so-called game. I tell when I talk to the homies, I only talk to a certain amount of homies now because life is life, man. And ever since I lost my brother last month, man, he was one of the last few that I really talk to like on a daily basis. So, but when I do talk to the homies and the game comes up or whatever, uh, we all agree, bro. The game is dead and over with, bro. It's a done deal. You're holding on. If you're holding on to something that is non-existent,
Yeah.
And I say that because look at the situation on the yards, bro. The
Yeah.
50-50, the non-programming, whatever they want to,
Yeah. So
whatever.
now, I communicate with some guys in prison, right?
Right.
Call me, text me. Some of them got phones, whatever. And so it's like they're bringing bulldogs to Solano, right?
Cool.
Level 2. And
Oh,
like nobody's going to program with them. Nobody programs with them guys. And
right.
so, and he goes like, "Hey, bro, I'm expected to step up because I'm a youngster." I go, "Fuck, you're 45 years old." He goes, "Yeah, but everybody on the yard is like 60, 70 years old. So I'm still a youngster, I knew this
Damn.
guy when 25 years ago, when he was a
Right. When he really was a youngster.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, I heard they're bringing PCs on the yard too." And he goes, "Yeah, they're going to bring S&Ys, bulldogs, and they also take mainline guys and send them to S&Y yards, and the S&Y guys jump on them." So CDC saying no more special yards, right? So where are they going to put this guy Popeye? Do you think they'll put him in the state pen or the federal pen? You think the feds will hide him out?
Yeah, I think the feds, because it's a RICO case. It's a RICO case, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a RICO case, you're going to the feds. And
All right,
so
so what
I
about all
don't.
these guys in Mule Creek that've been there, big time gang dropouts? They've been there forever, having it
Oh,
their way. What
you know,
happens when they bring a couple active gang members to that yard, or vice versa?
it's gonna be it's gonna be ugly, bro. I've talked to a couple of the homies in the parole, and one of the USO homies told me, he was like, bro, he said, I've never seen so much fuckery in my life. You know, and he did all he did was a turnaround. He did 16 months.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, and he hadn't been to the pen. Uh, he had an E number before, so he hadn't been to the pen for a while. And he caught a
Numbers about 86, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had caught a bullshit case, and they gave him 16 months. So he went, but he was like, man, he said you got first of all, you got the dudes from the back, the so-called big homies, right? And then you got, which them dudes are, which I am, that are kind of like their gophers, I guess you could say, right? And he said, but you got the end of hostilities, basically, where it's all hands off, right?
Yeah.
But something's happening every day because they're you don't know who's PC and you don't know who's GP.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah, I talked to. I said, well, just get you a job and stay out of the mix. He's like, hey, bro. I go, I told him, lockdowns are bad for business. He goes, hey, bro, they just killed 2 dudes. This is a level 2 dorm living. He goes, like, they killed 2 guys 5 minutes apart from each other, and they were only locked down for like 3 weeks. So, you don't like, it's not like cell living level 4. They have a killing and you're locked down for 6 months. You're right back with it, And so they're saying too that, like if you don't want to program with these former S&Ys, they got a place for you.
no, basically I think we did a video about this probably about a year and a half ago, was that basically and when I hate saying we because I'm not no fucking you know what I mean? I'm not no convict no more, bro. But we played into the administration's hands, bro. And what I mean by that is that and you spoke about it, nobody did nothing when they took the family business from the lifers.
Right.
Then they turned around and they took the weights. Nobody did nothing about that. Then they took the lighters. Nobody did nothing about that. Then they took the packages. Nobody did nothing about that. Then they took the tobacco. Nobody did nothing about that.
Yeah.
And then so that in itself, that just showed the illustration that that the prison politics was so deep and so entrenched in the system that nobody could come together to form a revolution, if you will, against the administration. And then you put the prison politics on top of that, and you got dudes rolling up off the yard over bad calls, $10 drug debts.
And they started the 2-on-1 removal.
2-on-1 removals.
Like, that was happening all the time. And so that was like some shot caller didn't like some guy.
No.
Sheriff shot a dope with him. So he says, oh, that guy's got to go. He's a rat or some shit. And they sent a couple youngsters to jump on him in front of the cops. And then that guy ruins his career, You know what I mean?
He walked past the shower and seen he was hung more than him, so he got jealous and had him removed from the yard.
Yeah, I mean, it was just stupid, bro. I could not believe how stupid prison got, and so now I think I'm, one thing like that shit's kind of done. It's back to, back when I was a youngster, it's like, look, if it ain't worth killing someone over, then it ain't a problem. And it's kind of back to that now. All the removals and all that shit, that's kind of not really happening. If a guy fucks up, he's gonna get whacked,
Well, yeah, now I mean I've been seeing it on the YouTube channels where people are dying, bro. And this is only the beginning though. And to all these youngsters that are watching, that might be watching or on the edge of going down that path and thinking that path is cool. Hey, look, man, there's nothing more, nothing worse than coming out of your cell knowing that this might be the last moments of your fucking life.
Yeah.
I did that for 7 straight years.
Well,
And
imagine your situation, I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
I did that for 7 straight years. So, and these dudes aren't playing, bro. You know what I mean? They're they're killing motherfuckers from left and right, bro. So when they really start integrating it, I haven't heard a definitive date. Nobody's put a definitive date out there that I know.
Right.
But CDC has supposedly, I mean, this is third or fourth, I've heard it, from other people, but they do have a date when them sensitive needs yards are gone completely.
Yeah, they said no more. I think it's like 2025, something
Yeah,
like that. No
yeah,
more S&Y, no more special yards.
yeah. So, we all know. I mean, this is my thing.
This is how they're gonna get them guys back in the shoe, bro.
Yeah, I think so. You know what it's like to open a yard, a brand new yard, right? I know what it's like to open a brand new yard. And it fucking sucks because everything has to be settled, shit's gotta be ironed out. It just sucks opening up a fucking yard, right?
Well, there's a lot
So
of
imagine,
boundaries that have to be established, who's
right,
sit where on the yard,
yeah.
and all that crap, yeah.
And so, but imagine this now where it's establishing these yards with GPs and PCs. Imagine how much more treacherous that's gonna be, bro.
Well, if you're a staunch well, if you're in a prison gang, I mean, you can't be in a fucking yard with a guy's PC.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
You
That's what I
can't,
heard.
So
But then now I've heard too that you can buy your way out of the hat now. So
I don't know. I've heard that too.
I mean, who knows, bro? I mean,
Bottom line is, look, man. I think it's a CDC's way of saying, look, we were forced to let all these guys out of the shoe. They were going to keep them there until they died or paroled, right, or debriefed. That was the motto.
right?
The courts ordered them to let them out. I think this is their way of getting them back into the shoe.
This is their way of getting them back in the. This is also payback for um, the court system coming in and forcing them to release lifers too, lifers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to lower the prison population and
All that. Yep.
and that's part of the deal. Like they put guys out of the shoe, bro, on super soft yards.
No.
Like, hey, you're gonna go to this yard over here that was kind of a hideout yard, and now there's a gangster on the yard saying, hey, this guy's got to go. This guy's got to go. That guy's, you know what I mean?
Well, I got a question. I've thought about this. I've thought about this. I've ran it through my head a couple times. So what happens if there's say there's a sensitive needs yard and they're gonna start integrating that yard with GP inmates, right?
Right.
And let's just say one of the groups, any of the 4 big groups, anybody who knows who's been watching this, they know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just pick one out and
Right.
But let's just say one of the groups. Go. One of the groups say that race, not the prison gang, but the race of that. They just say, you know what? We don't want them dudes on the yard no more. Don't let them dudes don't let the big homies hit the yard. What if they start taking off on them dudes?
Well, they are. They're taking off on mainline guys that they're sending to S&Y yards. They're not even gang members. They're just mainline guys that they know it's going to be a problem. They're afraid of them, so they take off on them as soon as they hit the yard. It's already happening. So here's my deal: like New Folsom, right, is a level 4.
No.
They got prison gang members there, and Mule Creek is a level 4.
No.
They got dropouts from the same prison gangs there.
Yep.
What if and they're not that far apart. Mule Creek's, it's only like an hour and a half away from Folsom, right? So what if they start busting guys back and forth out of them prisons? Like, let's just say that, what if they take all the active white prison gang members, all of them, on B facility in New Folsom? I'm just saying. And then they all the dropout white prison gang members from Mule Creek, and they switch them. All of them. Like they put all the active white gang members in the PC yard and all the dropout white guys. So when they get to B facility, New Folsom, there'll be no active white prison gang members, but there'll be dropout prison gang members. What would happen then? How would the other races feel about, man, we got all these dropouts on a yard from another race?
Yeah, and see, that'd be a shitstorm, right?
Yeah.
But this is what I say though. With all that going on, what you just said, where you got sensitive needs cats taking off on GP cats because they're scared of them.
Yeah.
This is, I think, in CDC's mind, I kind of see what they were going for, shooting for, but I don't think, I kind of relate, put it like this, and not to get sidetracked, but just follow me here real quick. I kind of relate this to the United States invading Iraq in 2003, and they didn't think about what was going to have to happen after Saddam got taken down. Like, who's going to pick the power vacuum that came behind it, right? Yeah. And so I don't think CDC thought about they still hold that title. Whether they're worthy of that title, that's a whole nother topic. But they still hold that title. So you're still going to have a group of idiots on that yard that's going to basically worship them dudes and everything they fucking say. So that problem is going to follow them dudes. I mean, that problem is going to go from prison to prison to prison to prison.
Right.
I mean,
until somebody dies or somebody, or until they get them back in the shoe, this is CDC's game, Wasn't it you that told me, didn't you tell me one of your homies went to Delano or something and some captain told him, hey, CDC is the big homie now.
Yes, yeah. He was like, they had some exchange, you know what I mean? And the dude, the pig was, the cop was basically like, yeah, CDC, we're the big homies now.
Yeah, and serious about it.
And was dead serious, the homie just, he was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, he said, I ain't never had a CO talk to me like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And like I said, bro, like, us as convicts, bro, we played right into their fucking game, bro. We played right into their hand, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but it is what it is. I'm not holding up no more. I ain't worried about it.
Well, I'm out here, but I got some friends in there still that a lot of them have life sentences and they want to come home. But and they're not making it easy for them. I mean, I know some guys that paroled out of San Quentin, I know of, that are, that's a mixed yard, and they're down in San Diego, running around with homeboys like it ain't shit. So, I don't know. I mean,
you got a lot of differing opinions on that 50-50 yard.
Yeah. See, now it's not even going to be a 50-50 yard because that was designated program yard, designated non-program yard. You could make a choice. I'm going to program with the S&Y guys, or I'm not going to take off on one of them and go to a non-designated program, non-program designated non-program yard. You had a choice. Now you're not going to have a choice.
Yeah, no, now it's like, you know what? All right, you know what? We're putting you guys all together. We're going to put the top on the pot, and whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, your choice now is going to be go to the shoe or stay on the yard with these dudes. You know.
So I mean, end game. We're
Fuck.
talking 10 years down the line. What do you see happening? You see them snatching them dudes back up and putting them back in the shoe?
You know, a lot of them dudes are older guys. You know, there are, but you know, like I got a lot of homeboys. They're not gonna. They don't want to program on the yard with them dudes. You know.
Yeah.
So you know, a lot of guys are gonna say, "Fuck it." You know, they're gonna go to prison. They're gonna get sent somewhere. They're gonna take off on somebody. And they're gonna go to the hole, and then they'll come back to the. You know, if you just fuck somebody up, you just go to the hole for a little while. So like, let's say you go up the high desert and it's a mixed yard, and you take off on somebody. You're gonna go to the hole, then you're gonna come back. You know, might be in a hole for 3 or 4 months, 6 months. Then you're gonna come back to the yard. You know. And then the guys you took off on, they're going to be there and they're going to take off on you.
Yeah.
You know,
And you know what I mean? The effect that's having.
you know,
you know.
moms and dads and wives and kids, they're going to be like, you know, what the fuck you doing to my son or my husband?
Right.
Or my dad? You know, they're going to be living in stress on the street, worried about their loved ones.
Yeah.
You know, so here's the deal. What if everybody, you know, which I don't, you know, what if everybody realizes what's going on and says, you know, we're not gonna play into to the program.
Nope.
Then
do you think, I mean, hey, you know, there's not too many smart people in there though. They kind of like, you know, they you know, they play follow the leader, bro. So
but some of the leaders are pretty smart. They're very
no, they are. That's one thing about them dudes that separate them from the most is they're charismatic, they're smart, they're savvy,
manipulators.
Master manipulators.
They're gangsters.
You know? Yeah, straight up. You know, and I think they're gonna come up with the you know this as well as I do. The way CDC is sitting back planning shit on how to do shit,
Yeah.
you don't think that the so-called big homies aren't planning on making their next moves too?
Yeah, because look, they were all adversaries and they went to the shoe. And after, you know, 25, 30 years of being in the shoe, they decided that, you know, we're not that much different from each other. They organized a statewide hunger strike and lawsuits and lawyers and advocates on the street, and they got themselves out of the shoe. So they did that, and they were able to put aside their differences. I mean, put it this way: if you went to prison tomorrow in California, it's hands off. You know, white Crips and white Bloods. It's not like it was when we were in there, where we weren't supposed to program on the same yard with white Crips and white Bloods.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, that's how much that's changed, because them guys were able to put aside some of their differences and they got themselves out of the shoe. And, you know, so if they can do that, they're going to figure something out. I don't know what it's going to be, but, you know.
It's a messed up situation for all sides, bro.
For everyone.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, bro, like, I mean, I've sat here, because I'm like, oh man, bro, but I've sat here and thought like, damn, you know, like if they try to put me on the arm PCs, like, yeah, I'm not, you know what, bro, I'm not doing it, bro.
I wouldn't, but like, I don't give a fuck about dropouts because I'm not in a gang. That's
Right.
I leave that for but you know, and guys that run up dope debts and lock up, I really don't give a fuck about that unless they did it to me. It's the guy, you know, it's like the fucking dudes that rape kids and women, and, you know, or fucking, you know, like I had some dude dealt with that, he was a caregiver for some old people, and he raped the old lady and he beat her husband to death. He was there. People like that, dude, I cannot fucking live around. I won't live around.
Right up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I just, luckily we're out, bro, and we're not having to deal with that. But like you said, we still got loved ones that are having to endure that strife and struggle, bro, and
Yeah, it's rough.
But yeah, man, that's why you got to be on your P's and Q's out here, man. And
Yeah.
the young cats, you got to understand, man. Look at, if you don't know the story me and Mitch are talking about, look up Donald Popeye Mazda.
Yeah. And if you
and,
want to get in the mix, that's your future.
That's your future.
You're either gonna be Donald Popeye Monza, or you're gonna be the guy he's testifying against.
So
I mean, that's it's just the way it is, man. I mean, and like this, if you're on the fence, you got homies in neighborhood, and if you're a young guy, put it this way, Whack, if you were a young guy in the hood now, kicking it, and then boom, you got a job, you're going to work every day, you got a little cash, then you got a car, some nice clothes, and eventually, that leads to having a good old lady and whatever. The homies are going to respect that. People respect that.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole point of life is to advance, bro.
Right, so you don't have to go down the illegal activity road.
Nah, bro. Like, hey, if that McDonald's job can turn into a, whatever job, bro. I mean, I heard McDonald's is paying people $15 an hour now. So I mean,
well, In-N-Out pays their fucking managers like 60 grand a year, bro.
There it is. There.
Oh wait, the wife just said it's more like 100 grand a year to be a manager.
Oh.
Out of the country for like a week if they meet their whatever.
Yeah. If they exceed the goals of the company for the year, they get bonuses and trips. And
yeah, bro.
That's In-N-Out, and like I've been looking for a job, and I got up on what you're doing, so I'm checking into that. So there's somebody in your neighborhood that has a job that might turn you on to something, or they might turn you on to an education in a trade or whatever,
Yeah.
So I mean,
real shit, man.
Way out of criminal activity, man. That doesn't lead to prison,
Yeah, because there is, at the end of the day, man, we all have a expiration date, bro, and
yeah, at least on this plane.
And so, you want to make your mark a positive one, if you know what I mean, if possible.
Well, I got a friend down the Bay Area, and he's like, he's not real on religion stuff, man, but he's always got a smile on his face. He's like, man, I'm into positive vibes, man, positive vibes.
Right.
And that's his deal, man. And there's something to that, because you know what? He's got a business, he's got a home, he's got a motorcycle. And like I say, he's got good friends. He's always got a smile on his face,
No, it's crazy because
he's a thug.
Yeah, no, and I've watched videos on YouTube of people that are like that. That it's like, I don't entertain no negativity. I don't entertain negative energy. I don't, this and that. My thought process from the time my feet hit the floor to when my back hits the bed at night is positive vibe, positivity.
Yeah.
And their lives seem to be not perfect, but going in the right direction, bro.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect, but you got to struggle to do the right thing sometimes, but it pays off in the end,
Well, no, my daddy's always telling me, a lot of times the right thing is the hard thing to do.
Yeah. What do you always say? If it ain't rough, it ain't us.
If it ain't rough, it ain't us, bro. And I try to live by that motto, man.
Yeah, so just you guys want to check out that article? It's all over the Google. Donald Popeye Mazda takes a deal, you know. And there's other guys in the article that have rolled over. They caught some guy down in Costa Rica or some shit. He killed himself supposedly because he didn't want to go to prison. And you know, it just it's that road, bro. It's a nightmare, and it's not fun. The money's not easy, and it don't last long. You can sell dope for a couple months, and then boom, you're done.
Yeah. I mean,
Somebody can kill you and take your money, or they're gonna rat on you.
yeah. Or kill you, or all three.
Yeah, yeah. That's where it leads to, man. So check it out, guys. You got a choice in life. Think about it, make the right decision. And you know, like if you decide to go down that road, just remember, man, there ain't no way out unless you fucking compromise yourself. And
Yep.
you know, whatever you choose to do it hard.
You see, but so